It's a sight you don't expect to see in Germany in 2018. Hundreds of right-wing extremists, many neo-Nazis, marching through the nation's capital. Close the border, they shout. Resistance, resistance. The far right is enjoying a major comeback here, bringing with it a troubling rise in anti-Semitism. According to government figures, anti-Semitic attacks have increased by 20% in the last 5 years. The number of violent right-wing extremists has gone up by nearly a third. This man tells us a shadowy cabal of globalists controls the world.
So when you talk about the elites and you talk about finance, is that another way of saying Jewish people?
Yes.
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 It is.
Also, sagen wir mal so.
Let me say it this way, the banking system for sure. Banks, finance, the economy, mainly Jews, he says. We had more questions, but our conversation was cut short by one of the march's organizers.
I think we have someone who's following.
Making anti-Semitic statements can be punishable under German law. But Christian Weisberger explains that neo-Nazis are finding new ways to express the same old hatred. And he should know, Weisberger used to be a right-wing extremist himself.
I would say that it is a form of anti-Semitism that disguises itself. So they don't talk about the Jew anymore. They talk about the Zionists or the globalists or the bankers.
And they are growing more brazen. One man flashes a quick but unmistakable Nazi salute right in front of us, a crime in Germany. It's important to remember this isn't any country, this is Germany. Just a few hundred yards from the march is a memorial for the millions of Jews murdered here in the Second World War. More than 70 years after the Holocaust, Germany is still haunted by its past. And yet, remarkably, anti-Semitism is once again a growing problem here, with 50% of Germans agreeing that Jewish people are now at risk of racist violence. The statistic comes from a CNN poll that also found half of Germans believe Jews are at risk of hate speech. At Feinberg's Israeli restaurant, owner Yorai says he gets threats every day.
From murder to I will break your knees, I will break your arms, I will break your teeth. They're very creative in everything, all the options that they want to break.
He was recently accosted by a man who told him Jews will end up in the gas chamber. It's only about the money for you. You will pay, the man says to him. Nobody wants you here.
He told you to go to the gas chambers, or that you will go back to the gas chambers? You've heard things like that before?
Very often.
Germany has acknowledged it has a problem, recently appointing its first anti-Semitism czar. Felix Klein is focused on creating a nationwide system for reporting anti-Semitic crimes and on improving integration of Germany's different communities.
Anti-Semitism has always existed in Germany, also after 1945, and now, though, it is showing its ugly face more openly. Things that people would never have dared to say in a bar or in a restaurant, in a private surrounding, do so now using social media or the net.
Germany has seen upticks in neo-Nazi activity before, most notably in the 1990s. While official statistics show that more than 90% of anti-Semitic attacks nationwide are from the far right, there's a new element of concern for the Jewish community: the arrival of 1.4 million Muslim refugees in the last 3 years. Duran Reuben is the leader of Germany's small Orthodox Jewish community.
With the coming of a lot of immigrants who have a different history and a different background, and especially obviously coming from the Middle East, have also, because of Israel, a different attitude towards Jews.
When we talk about Muslim-originated anti-Semitism, I think we can only win that battle with the help of the moderate Muslims. Without them, this wouldn't be a successful fight.
Overall, the Jewish community remains anxious.
I think much more Jews now think again like, can we call Germany our home, and is it possible to live in this society? You can notice that the question that might not have been asked 5 years ago is starting to pop up again.
It's a question few in this country ever imagined would have to be asked again. Clarissa Ward, CNN, Berlin.